So we've gotten the question, which is better, the stand on or the walk behind? And if you could pick one, which one would you pick? And I want to make this video really easy with a quick answer. Which one would I pick? The answer is the stand on. The stand on is a better investment. It is a superior machine. And if I had to only have one, I would go for the stand on. Now, that's not to say that there's not a place for the walk behind, but at the end of the day, when you're dealing with the walk behind, you have way lesser components. You have weaker hydro gears. This is a 3400 hydro, and I believe that's still what they put on these today. Maybe a little bit bigger, but on a standard, this one has a 4400 hydro, which is it's gonna last you longer. They're stronger, more robust, and they're faster. They have more torque. You get a bigger engine. Overall, it's a better investment. Now, when it comes to the standard, it is lighter weight, so easier on the lawn, less likely to sink. The front end on this mower, on the walk behind, is incredibly light. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I could get this up off the ground with one hand. Let's see. Oh, yeah, so I'm able to lift that up with one hand. So there's definitely a place for it, but at the end of the day, if you can only get one, the value of the standard is just much higher than it is on the walk behind. Now, where does the walk behind really shine? It shines on the small properties, residential, lots of turns. But as soon as you get into open area, it dies a slow death, and the standard is more superior. So for a business standpoint, you're able to get from a business standpoint, you're able to get a lot more out of your standard than you can your walk behind. Meaning you can grow into a standard. You can go to fields, you can go to bigger properties, but the walk behind will do the big properties. It's just not going to be as profitable, as comfortable, and the workers, your guys, are not going to like the walk behind as much. I mean, they'll be fine if it's on the truck. They'll be fine with it being on the truck, but they're not going to be super excited about it being the only option. So as this one sits, it's kind of at the end of its life. Underneath it, there's always an oil stain now at this point because the hydro's gone, it leaks, and it doesn't produce power from the right side like it should. And it's to the point where it's not necessarily worth the repairs. I mean, the hydro on this side is $1,200-$1,300, and the engine leaks oil. So it's just getting to be kind of like a problem. On a side note, though, check out our blade grinding apparatus that we have here. This is just a grinder from Harbor Freight, and it seems to do a pretty good job. They grinded up blades for us. Honestly, it works better than the actual RGB whatever grinder options that we have. So, but definitely, if you are in the market for this, go for the standard if that's the only option. Definitely a little bit harder on the lawn. It can tear things up. It can rut things up. You got to change your pattern a lot more. But I enjoy the walk behind. I enjoy the standard more than the walk behind. And it is funner to operate. It allows you to operate the machine with one hand. You know, you can do this, and you can like really get used to just having a free hand to run a leaf blower, to do whatever it is that you need to do. Whereas the walk behind platform, it requires both your hands to be on the machine. Not as good, not as pleasurable or good. If you're going to be on the machine for 40-50 hours a week, not as good as having a standard. This thing, you could be on it all day, and honestly, you might just want to get off it just because it's too dang easy. So, simple answer to a simple question. If you can only get one, what to get? Go for the standard if you can. But if you're in a situation where you can only get a walk behind because of the finances or whatever the case, get your walk behind, but just make it a goal to try to maybe move up to a standard. And it's always good to have it, your walk behind. It's not a bad machine to have. So it's not a bad machine to be strategic and start off with, make some money, and then get your stander. But definitely stander if you can. They beat the sit down zero turns. So at the end of the day, it's a combination of both, best of both worlds. Now, one thing to consider is don't get the biggest stander. Like this is a Z3X. It's like the biggest one that Ferris makes, and it makes the machine really heavy. Whereas if you got like the regular Z stander without the articulating front end and the bigger wheels and all this stuff that makes it heavy, it might be more of a happy medium where it is more of the weight of a walk behind. You're going to have smaller hydro gears, a smaller engine. You probably have a 3800 hydro instead of a 4400, which the 4400 is a totally different animal. And you might end up with a 28 horse instead of a 37 horse. So at the end of the day, it just means you have a lighter machine, maybe a little slower, just by a little, but a lighter machine that can go into some more wet areas. But anyway, my name is Sean. This is Lawn Rush. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Over and out.